Okay, so we've already read the objective for today. We are going to talk about end behavior. And so I want to first look at these 5 functions, all right? And these are the parent functions. Actually, they're not really parent functions. A few of them are not. But you should know 2 of them. You should recognize 2 of these functions and their graphs. You have the linear one, which you guys spent probably a lot of time in 8th grade, even 9th grade on this. And then quadratics, we spent a lot of time in this class on how to graph quadratic functions. So for the next few weeks, we're going to look at mostly cubic and quartic and then a little bit of the quintic functions as well, okay? And you guys see how these are all red, and you see the red arrows on them. You guys see where the part is actually an arrow? That is the end behavior we're going to focus on today. So where the arrows are, that's called end behavior, okay? And that's how we're going to kind of move on today. And so this is kind of the notation that might look a little different. We're going to talk about x values moving to the positive infinity direction, to negative infinity direction, ultimately leading you to this table. So go put a star next to it or circle this table. You're going to be referring to this table the entire day. And just to let you know, when we do a quiz on this, I am not going to be providing you a table like this. This will not be there on the quiz. So in essence, you do need to memorize it. But I think if you do this enough, you should understand it. Okay? All right. Now, when I look at this table, the first thing that I always ask myself is, what's the leading coefficient for my polynomial? All right? Because if it's a positive, greater than 0, then it's going to look like one of these. But you'll notice we have to decide on the degree first before we pick which one it's going to. I think the easiest way to think of this is to think about whenever you've played or watched basketball. Have you guys seen a basketball game? Okay? When someone shoots a three-pointer, what does the ref do when they shoot the three-pointer? They put one hand up. They put one hand up. What do they do when the guy makes or girl makes the three-pointer? No, that's a football thing. They go like this. All right, Ivan's right. They go like this. Okay? They celebrate. So I just made the shot, and notice, what do you notice about my hands? No. Yes, I have 5 fingers. They're both pointing up. They're both pointing up. So whenever they're both pointing up, this would be an even degree, and the leading coefficient is positive. You guys see that? All right? That means you have an even degree polynomial. So what's an even number? 2, 4. Okay, those are even. All right, and the leading coefficient is positive. Now, unfortunately, my basketball reference is over because no, they don't go like this when they miss it. All right, for those of you at home, I just put my hands down. What I want you to know is think of your favorite Fast and Furious movie. All right, there's many to choose from.
5.
Oh, sure. Okay. What up? Okay. And imagine that a race is starting between your 2 favorite characters. All right, and when they start a race, I want you to think about going like this. And where are my hands for that one?
So you got pause.
My hands are both down. So it's still an even degree, but now the leading coefficient is negative. It's below 0. Okay? That's how I think of for the even degree. For the odd degree, I think of my favorite movie from the 70s. All right, it's called Saturday Night Fever. All right? John Travolta stars in it. All right? And when he's walking down the street, all of a sudden he'll just do his favorite disco move. That is an odd degree. Yes, hello people. What I just did was a disco move from the 70s. Okay? Anyway, look here. That's what I just did. All right? I just did this with my hands. One's going up and one's going down. Now, that's a leading coefficient that's positive. What happens if the leading coefficient is negative? Now my disco move is to the left. Okay? So one's still up, one's down, but now we have different one that's up and different one that's down. Okay? Now all of this we're going to work with for the next half hour. Okay? So let's try to do one together. Let's try to do example 1. What is the leading coefficient for this polynomial? Excellent. So I'm going to write that down. Now, you guys said -1, and it's not that I don't care about the part that's 1, but what's the part that I care about the most today? the negative part. So I'm going to write down -1, but really I care that it's negative. Okay? What about the degree?
4.
Is there a reason we keep saying degrees this? Okay. What's the degree?
4.
It's 4. And again, today, I care that you write 4, but I care more that you know that 4 is even. That 4 is an even number. Okay? Everybody good so far? That shouldn't be new. We did this before Thanksgiving, pre-Thanksgiving. Okay? Now, I'm going to go to the table. You should have circled it or started it. If you go to the table, let's figure out which box we're going to focus on. See how there's 4 boxes here of graphs? I want to figure out which one I'm going to be focusing on. All right? You have many ways to do this. Let's start with the leading coefficient. What's the leading coefficient? It's -1, so I care that it is negative. And that number is less than 0. So it's either going to be this one or that one. Well, what's my degree? Is it even or odd? It's an even degree because it's a degree of 4. So I'm going to focus on this box here. Question? No? Okay. Okay. So if you see this notation, I'm going to write that down where it says end behavior. So I'm going to write down end behavior and write that down. And this might not make a whole lot of sense until I sketch it. All right, so I'm going to write as x approaches -infinity, which means that'd be moving to the left on the x-axis. Where is my function curve going to be? It's going towards also -infinity in the y direction. So p of x approaches -infinity as well. What about when I move to the right on the x-axis towards +infinity? Where is my curve going? Actually, because it's an even degree, they're both going to be going the same direction. This is my Fast and Furious. They're both going down. So my function is still going down, so p of x is also approaching -infinity. Okay? Now again, your brain might not be able to make sense of this yet until we put the sketch. So I'm going to draw the sketch right here. I have a little room. I'm going to draw my x and y axis. Okay? All I care about is the end behavior. I'm not going to draw the whole graph, just the end behavior. As I move to the left, that'd be towards -infinity. Where is my function? Also going towards -infinity. As I move to the right, towards +infinity, where is my curve? Also moving towards -infinity. So do you see how they're both opening down? Everyone okay? Uh-huh. Okay. All right, let me try this. What if the leading coefficient was a positive? Then where would these be? They'd be both up. Okay? And so that would change my notation. My notation would now say the functions are both going towards +infinity. Okay? Now again, if you're still struggling, where did I get this notation for my end behavior? From my chart. I literally you can just copy this. Okay? But I think what's going to help your brain is to then make the sketch so you can link it up. All right? Let's try another one. Let's see if your brain can do another one. Okay. Let's try example 2. Example 2. What is the leading coefficient for this example? It is 2. And I care more about it being what? It's... Actually, no, for the leading coefficient, I care about positive or negative. So it is 2, but really I care that it's positive. All right, that it's positive. Okay? What about the degree? What's the degree of this polynomial? 5. And so again, I really care about that being even or odd, and 5 is an odd number. All right, it's an odd number. Okay, everyone all right? Now, let's go back to the chart. I know you have to flip it over, I'm sorry. You go back to the chart. Let's see which one we're going to be focused on. Again, you have options on in the order you do this. I like to go leading coefficient, then degree. But if you went degree, then leading coefficient, it wouldn't matter. So is my leading coefficient greater than 0 or less than 0? Greater. It's positive, right? 2 is greater than 0. So it's either this one or that one, my top two. Is my degree odd or even? It's odd. 5 is odd. So I'm going to be focusing on this box here. Okay? So I'm going to write down the notation from this box, and then I'm going to try to sketch the end behavior so that way you can link it up in your mind. Okay? All right. So as we move to the left in your x direction, so as x approaches negative infinity, where is my function going? It's going down. So I'm going to write q of x. You may be wondering why I didn't write p of x. Take a look at the problem. Do you guys see how it says q of x? Okay. That's why I wrote q of x, not p of x. Approaches negative infinity as well. Let's move to the right. As x approaches infinity, so that's to the right, where is my function going? To up. And so how would I write that? Approaching, if it's going to up, positive infinity. Okay?
Wait, is the top left one?
Yes, the top left one. This one here? Your order might be different. I wrote this one first. I like going from left to right. Okay. We're going to do the graph like we did there. Sketch it. Very good. All right, yes. Don't let me forget that. I'm going to draw a little x and a y axis. I'd like for you to. I think it'll help your brain kind of match it up. I'm not going to require it, but I think it helps. I think it helps. Okay? All right. So as x approaches negative infinity, that's to the left, my function is going to negative infinity as well, so down here. What about when I move to the right? It's going up towards positive infinity, so up this way. Okay? So again, this would be my disco move. Everybody good? Yes, we all hear it. It's okay. Everyone, they can hear it at home too. All right. I'm getting a lot of tweets about it. Okay. Everybody good? Okay. So, these are the two that you guys are going to try. If you get stuck, if you have trouble, where should you go? Neighbors. Yes, neighbors, but also where should you go on your notes? I love, very good, Arma, show off this. Look at that. All right, go to your charts. All right, nice job. Go to your chart. All right, you guys ready to try these two? Yeah. Can we do it 10 minutes? Can we do it in 10 minutes? Yeah. Okay, ready? Go!